Cavs and Heat, LeBron versus Wade. Oh, and speaking of those two, that special handshake they did before the game. What is that? They aren't teammates. Today's NBAers, man, I tell you, there's something else. But the Cavaliers restored their rivalry with the Heat in their home opener as they downed them 102-92, led by LeBron James with 29 points. Kevin Love also added 25. The Cavs moved to 2-1 on the season. Miami falls to 1-1. And it's too early in the season to have a real takeaway from the game itself, but a question I do have is there any competition for the Cavaliers out east? Because after watching Miami play, they're good. But are they pretenders or are they serious contenders in the Eastern Conference? Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again, finally to talk NBA with you guys. A new season is upon us. The Cavaliers just hosted the Miami Heat in their home opener. They made easy work of them despite only winning by 10 points. The score is deceiving because the Cavaliers were in complete control from the second quarter on in that game. Kevin Love was phenomenal in that game, as well as LeBron James had his first breakout game of the season, although he did have 25 points in the first game. But versus the Miami Heat, LeBron had 29 points on 13 of 19 shooting. And that's efficient. That's up to what? 68% from the field. That's the type of LeBron statistics we were seeing in Miami. So that's a good sign for the Cavaliers. He also went over 50% in the first game of the season. But versus Memphis, he shot just 30% from the field. One thing about that is the Cavaliers won by 30 points at the Grindhouse. So that's an A++ without Kyrie, without Iman Shumpert. You can only look at that as a positive. Like LeBron can have 12 points, and this Cavaliers team missing those pieces go to the Grindhouse and come away with a 30-point victory. We know the Grindhouse is not an easy place to play. Memphis is a feisty defensive team as well. Didn't matter against the Cavs. Cavs went for over 100 against Memphis as well. We know this Cavaliers team is the class of the Eastern Conference. But the most positive sign so far is Kevin Love's comfortability. He just looks comfortable in this offense this year. And LeBron alluded to it going into the season that Kevin Love will return to all-star form. And through 3 games this season, he is in all-star form. He is in top 10 to top 15 in the NBA form. So far, he's been getting a lot more touches in favorable positions, the post, and he's been capitalizing on those. And even in his pick and pop, Kevin Love is just a great player. And I'm really starting to see his greatness unfold in front of my eyes with this Cavaliers team. You can tell LeBron has made an effort to make sure Kevin Love shines this season. And he deserves to. And it will not be to the detriment of the Cavaliers. Kevin Love playing at the level that he's playing in these first 3 games will actually elevate the Cavaliers to maybe being the best team in the whole NBA, not just the Eastern Conference. And overall, the Cavaliers have played great team ball. Even though they lost the first game of the season, they showed a lot of fight to come back down on the road at the United Center. They were down, I believe, around 16 points in the second half. They were able to come back, only lost by 2 points. This team looks complete. Matthew Dellavedova has improved. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He had 10 assists versus Miami off the bench. And the addition of Mo Williams is just fantastic. The Cavaliers needed another scoring guard to fill basically Kyrie's shoes. He's nowhere near as dynamic as Kyrie, but he can flat out score. He can shoot from mid-range, from deep, and he can also hit you with the teardrops. Mo Williams is a scorer. So to have him in the shoes of Kyrie while he is out, that's just perfect for this Cavaliers team, and he's going to be clutch off the bench in the playoffs. And then you still had Dellavedova at 6'4", who can check point guards as well. Cavaliers are deep. Richard Jefferson has shown something. I thought he was washed. I've watched him play so far. I'm still not convinced, but he's done some pretty good things so far in these first 3 games. This Cavaliers team, I don't see a team in the East that can stop them. The only question is, who is their biggest competition in the Eastern Conference? And that's where Miami comes in. There was a lot of hype around this Heat team coming into the season, and I somewhat bought into it myself. They added Amari Stoudemire to their bench, Gerald Green, drafted Justice Winslow, still of the draft relative to position. Draft position, that is. So there are people buying Miami stock right now. And I can't necessarily say I blame them. But at the same time, Chicago is just as great of a threat, if not better. And the thing is, with this Heat team, Goran Dragic and DWade Wade have just not clicked yet. They haven't been terrible, but something just isn't there right now. And that's not to say that they can't eventually get on the same page, but we both know they are ball-dominant guards. Yes, they both played off the ball. Goran Dragic, when Phoenix had the 3-point guard fiasco with him, Bledsoe, and Isaiah Thomas, where he was ending up checking small forwards. And then, yes, D-Wade played with LeBron James, so he played off the ball as well as Dragic. But those two collectively have not found their stride together where they're in sync, and I think they will in due time. And then you have Chris Bosh, a dynamic player for his position, can step out now and hit the 3 at a consistent rate. Chris Bosh is a phenomenal power forward. So this is a formidable team in the Eastern Conference. One thing, health has to be on Miami's side. DWade Wade has to be there in May if they want to make a run for the Eastern Conference Finals or even to the NBA Finals. Wade being injured or Wade even being hobbled ends Miami's chances of challenging the Cavaliers, or even Chicago for that matter. If DWade Wade is not even close to 100%, then they have no shot against the Cavaliers at all. DWade Wade will have to be at 100% for them to even have a chance. And that would be a small chance even with him at 100%. And to be honest, it's tough to say who is a greater competitor for the Cavaliers between Chicago and Miami at this point, because we know Chicago has a new coach, which could be a bad thing or a good thing. So far, they look to be a more offensive team. But will that hinder their defense down the line? Who knows? We have to wait and see. Injuries play a role with Chicago's fate as well. We know Derrick Rose is injury prone. I hope he stays healthy. If him and D-Wade are healthy, which is a perfect world, come playoffs, that's a tough call. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. Because, let's just be real. Most likely, injuries are going to play a factor because that's just the reality of sports. And even if they play a factor in the Cavs, as long as it's not LeBron James, the Cavaliers are coming out of the Eastern Conference. And we know that. The Cavaliers are minus 210 to win the Eastern Conference. You have to lay more than double what you want to win just to pick the Cavaliers to win the East. Go over to the Western Conference. The lowest are the Warriors at plus 225, which means you would make over double what you bet. So that tells you the Cavaliers are heavy favorites. And for that reason, it honestly doesn't matter. Bulls and Heat, put their name in a hat and pick one out, because it doesn't matter. They're bowing out in the Eastern Conference Finals at best anyway.